So I'm just going to review everything for the public so that they know, and for our candidates too. We're going to ask 4 questions. So the first question, we will have a particular order, and then with the second question, we will alternate the order, and then the third and fourth questions, okay? So that way, for each question, you each get an opportunity to start, be the first, second, and third, okay? And I will repeat the question for each candidate because it's difficult after listening to remember all the details of the question. If you need me to clarify or repeat something, please don't be shy. Raise your hand and ask, no problem at all. And as before, when there is 30 seconds left, a yellow card will be held up. And when it's time to close it and wrap it up, a red card will be held up, and we will just say thank you so much, and then we'll stop, okay? That way there's fairness for everybody. Any questions before we get started? Any questions at all? No? Okay. So the first question, we're going to go in this order. It'll be Jake Whitaker, Kandice Richardson Fowler, your second, and then Trista Kennedy, third, okay? And, okay, the first question, it has to do with communication and coordination. Because of district elections, the number of people you would represent is much smaller than when everyone was elected at large. What specific plans do you have to keep residents informed, to provide opportunities to hear opinions from residents, and to be available to hear complaints or solve problems?
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You have
so
2 minutes.
yeah, I would just start by saying that I hope that everyone knows you can always give me a phone call or send me an email, and I try to be as responsive as I can and do whatever I can to address the concerns of constituents who come forward and ask me for assistance. I've also been a strong advocate for improved communications on a district-wide level, because I think that that's really important in terms of, we have limitations as individual trustees in our ability to get the word out about certain things. And that's why we need to leverage the district's resources as well to have strong community engagement. One of the things that I have wanted to do, although, with COVID-19 and the limitations on public gatherings have kind of limited me from being able to do it, is that I was actually wanting to look at the possibility of organizing trustee town halls, of doing office hours for constituents. I think that there is so much more that we can do as individual trustees and as a board to make ourselves accessible and responsive to the community. And I think that that's really important. It's something that perhaps has been undervalued in our district in the past. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of the efforts that we've made so far. I worked closely with the superintendent to develop what I call a communications action plan to take some concrete steps in terms of allocating staff time and doing different things to kind of coordinate our communications and public relations activities. But I'm also looking forward to, as opportunities allow, to kind of thinking outside the box and finding new and interesting and exciting ways to engage with constituents, because I think that it's really important.
Thank you, Jake. Okay, next we're going to ask that question also of Kandice Richardson Fowler, and I will read it to you, Kandice. Because of district elections, the number of people you would represent is much smaller than when everyone was elected at large. What specific plans do you have to keep residents informed, to provide opportunities to hear opinions from residents, and to be available to hear complaints and solve problems? Thank you, Kandice.
Thanks for the question. I'm so glad that this was brought up because there's something I wanted to address in this. Even though we're elected by districts, we still represent the entirety of the Woodland Joint Unified School Districts. So I wouldn't just be making policies and plans that favored a particular district, or for that matter, a particular school. And a way to articulate that would be having meetings, attending other people's meetings, having email. You know, I have a friend in Davis, Don Saylor, who I was a member of Davis Oddfellows with over 12 years ago as an active member. Since I've been a parent, I've shifted my civic activity to schools and whatnot. But I'm still on his email list, letting me know what happens when he was at the city level and what's happening at the county level. I have never removed myself from that list because I want to hear what's going on. I think other people would sign up for lists like that to see what's going on in their community as well. On top of that, in February of this year, I organized a best practice meeting with the other PTAs, because not only do you want to know what's happening at a district level, you kind of want to know what's happening at other schools, not reinventing the wheel, sharing ideas, coordinating a calendar so not all events are on the same weekend. And that was fabulous. The engagement, the response, everybody out with their calendars. Then a couple of weeks later, COVID happened. But I digress. There are several different ways during this election. I have been registering voters at farmers market, and that's something that I really want to continue with. Getting to the farmers market, meeting with the people, and having that face-to-face office hour, if you will. I love that idea.
Thank you, Kandice. Next, we are going to go to Trista Kennedy. Hi, Trista. I'm going to read the question for you again. Because of district elections, let me make sure I'm unmuted here. Just want to make sure I'm unmuted. Okay. Because of district elections, the number of people you would represent is much smaller than when everyone was elected at large. What specific plans do you have to keep residents informed, to provide opportunities to hear opinions from residents, and to be available to hear complaints and solve problems? Thank you, Trista.
Thank you for this question. I appreciate it. You know, I believe communication is an important responsibility of being a trustee. I put an emphasis on listening to hear and not just to respond. And I firmly believe in timely responses, and I think communication is extremely important. If elected, I would like to continue to build and grow the board and district's communication internally and externally. Everyone deserves to be heard and feel appreciated. I would like to see other avenues of communication expand, such as possibly a board newsletter, also getting our district website updated. There is some information that's outdated, so it would be nice to be able to have it easily navigated with current information as well. Another idea similar to what Jake was saying is I'd like to see a talk with the board town hall meetings where we could have, you know, 2 board members present to be able to hear from the community. They can listen, answer questions, and discuss ideas. The board can't make decisions unless it's a duly convened meeting and there's a quorum present, but it would be a great way to interact and listen to the community. As a trustee, I will make communication a priority. I respond to emails in a timely fashion, be able to talk with those who are willing to talk. I think working together is the best way for us to solve problems. Communication is important to me because I believe I have the knowledge base and the skill set to help expand communication within the district and from the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Trista.